All right, Rail, Steam-Kin, Memekin, whatever you want to call it. This is basically a deck that plays a bunch of red cards that let us draw more cards alongside cards like Electrostatic Field and Rail and Steam-Kin to kind of chain through our deck quickly. Something that's been really impressive with this deck to me is Rail's downtick with risk factor is just absurd. It like makes risk factor do 10 points of damage on one cast, and then because Rail starts at 4, you can actually downtick him the following turn and double risk factor again. It just pushes so much damage. And then to top it all off, we also have expansion in here, which if you're not familiar when this set released, so if you have Rail in play, and you have a 1 mana, and you have a cheaper instant or sorcery, and 2 copies of Expansion Explosion, you can actually deal infinite damage. So how it works is, Rail deals the damage whenever a spell gets copied. So you cast the first spell, hold priority and expansion your first spell, then holding priority to that, you expansion your expansion, and every time you just keep expansioning your first expansion, you deal 1 damage with Rail and kill them eventually. So we actually have an infinite combo to anyone with this, but it does have the possibility to do that. And one of the nice things about this deck is it's not all in on that infinite combo, right? Like it's just a good aggressive deck that can sometimes have that thing to do. Toon Tingy, thank you for the 4 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I do think it'll be interesting to see how this goes on the ladder. I do think that Esper Control can potentially be a hard matchup for this deck. We've been playing against a lot of that so far today. So I'm curious to see how that goes if we run into it. We are currently playing against number 6 on the ladder. They mean serious business. That's another control deck. Like, I guess I should say, it's likely another control deck. Confirmed. So the control matchup is one I'm interested to see how our sideboard feels in. The various planeswalkers we have in our sideboard are cards for the control matchup specifically. Do you get something for being number 1? You do not. Top 1,000 all get the same prizes. Yep.
From the world any longer.
Probably dead here at this point.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet. Are you ever, Tefri? Are you ever done?
Sorry I'm late. Nothing. as I go.
Maybe why sticks? Like, in your calculation there, are you considering the fact that... In your calculation, are you considering the fact that we have cards that draw cards to let us see more cards each game? Because, like, with 8 one-mana cantrips and, like, Tormenting Voice as well, like, you're pretty likely to hit your land drops in this deck. How long am I going to stream for today? I'm going to at least do another hour, hour and a half or so playing this deck. And then if we still have a good audience after that, I'll probably do one more. Good morning, Punch. I am taking all of tomorrow off. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to take the time to update the deck list pages on my website. Like, the Steam-Kin's going to update it to Ral. Steam-Kin update Hero, some of the other pages. We've not played a Feather deck yet. I do have one that's in the queue waiting to be played. But we've not played one yet on stream yet. I'm going to go ahead and Warlord's Fury on 1 because I want to give myself the best chance to hit my 3rd land on 3 so I can curve 2, 3, 4 naturally here. How much to make it next? For 5 sub-gifties, I'll guaranteed stay on. And we can make that next. Or 25. 2,500, whatever. Whatever is the convenient donation vehicle for you. Nebula, thank you for the 3-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here.
Play nice.
Will Dozer coming in hot with the giftaroonies. Alright, red, white, feather it is. And then feather will definitely be the last thing. So it'll be about 10 hours for me, and that's about my limit these days. I'm an old man, chat. What I recommend is a good alternative to Chandra. You can play some more Saheelis. Gonna go ahead and get my hand empty here, so that way they can't discard spell me. I think this card might be really good too. Like, I haven't played the control matchup yet, but if this matchup feels like it's hard, and it might, more Tibalts and Saheelis and stuff like that in the board, I think is definitely the answer. Like, I could see even playing the full 4-ball of this card. Tool of the Devil, thank you very much for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Yeah, Absorb not gaining 3 is absurd. I agree. Sure. And, like, these are, like, 2 damage in the bank, too, right? Like, if they find removal spells for these, they're gonna take 2 more. I might increase the Planeswalker count in the sideboard after this, even.
You should be flattered I decided to. My friend is here to help your pain.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and run it back. How long have we waited for a playable Tibalt the Planeswalker card? He is here, ladies and gentlemen. He is here. Do I have to cheer one to ask for my complimentary timeout now? I guess it's not quite complimentary if you're not subbed. And that does work, Ruby. Thanks for the bit. Wax Papers, thanks for the 13 months of Prime support. Welcome back. This seems like not amazing, but I think it's in the range of keepable. My opponent's likely going to shred my hand with discard spells anyways, so because I already have all my lands lined up, I'm going to hold on to this Crash Through to play it after I Steam-Kin. Les, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I really appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month with that. And definitely not low 94. Welcome, and thanks for the Prime. Getting the absorb on that is not terrible, because it means this light up the stage is going to resolve. Which gets us a solid 2-for-1 here. I'm good to go land Chandra next turn. God, absorb is such a beating. We need more Tibalt, chat. I've got a fever, and the only cure is more Tibalt. This is why you don't play more than 19 lands, chat. This is why. Nailist, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. We've not played a ton with Chandra yet. I think she's probably worse than Saheeli and worse than the other one, Tibalt, but she does have her purposes.
I'm sorry, but I must tend to my creations.
Really just want to draw any of our cards that generate card advantage at this point. Expansion Explosions, Planeswalkers, light up the stages. The things we're looking for. They're still pretty far off of flipping the search for. I lied. They're at 5 cards. Alright, so search flips next turn. Hopefully we're up some sort of card advantage. You get to do some stuff. Risk Factor would be a great draw here even. I'm going to hold at least one land in my hand as a way to jumpstart Risk Factor. I probably just want to get these hits in now. Especially post-board, our curve goes a little bit higher than traditional mono red, so I really don't mind playing 19. I think 19's about appropriate. I could see, like, and this is something that, like, you could think about too. It could be that I want to add an extra copy of Risk Factor. Well, Malv, so here's the thing. When you're in a position with this deck where your opponent can afford to take damage, you're probably losing anyways. So, like, cards that aren't Risk Factor aren't really going to pull us back in better than Risk Factor is. Like, if I had, and Risk Factor gets better in multiples, right? So, like, if I had another Risk Factor here, it would be absurd. Like, dealing 8 damage is worth a plethora of cards. I think I'm gonna get, we flooded out a little bit there, which sucks. I'm gonna get another Risk Factor in here, I think, and I'm gonna up the Planeswalker count on the sideboard. It could just be that Tormenting Voice isn't a card I want to play. I could see that being the possibility too. I kind of want one more of these and one more of her. I don't know exactly what I want to cut though. Fight with Fire might just be unnecessary. It's nice for killing Lyra, but that's about it. Just like hoping they don't draw Lyra is kind of good. Frenzy's not good in my deck full of cards that are trying to draw more cards, Malv. Frenzy's also not good in the face of Mortify. Like, when you're casting cards that say draw cards on them as their only text, Experimental Frenzy really is really very mediocre. One of the things I think new players especially fail to identify when they're playing decks like this, a lot of time these aggressive decks, is that a lot of people feel like every one of their decks should have catch-up mechanics, and that's just not how aggro decks really work a lot of the time. It's okay for your deck to just get to points in the game where if I haven't killed my opponent by a certain point, I'm just drawing dead and it's moving and we can move on. Like, not every deck we play has to have these incredible comeback mechanics. Sometimes just trying to get under the opponent is the only thing we want to be doing. And like, from, again, talking about it from an emotional perspective, it feels worse, right? Because those games where you really want those comeback mechanics are long, grueling games where you lose very slowly. And it feels terrible to lose really slowly. So they're going to attack with this Augur, and I'm going to double shock them and block with my 4/4. Alright, so this worked out exactly how we wanted to. So even though they're going to diddle my Steam-Kin here, the counter trigger's already on the stack, so it's going to get this counter and then eat the Augur. They have a dive down, sure. What are the odds they can win if I kill their Augur of Bolas this turn? Low? It's pretty low, right? The deck list is on your screen, Turkey Sloth. Would have been better to do shocks before declaring blockers. No, because then my opponent would have tapped my only blocker with their Merfolk Trickster, and I wouldn't have been able to block their thing. Tamiyo Nexus is very good. I think I'm just gonna do this. So, attacking here is worse if they have another Curious Obsession next turn, but with the risk factors, I could probably just race them with the Tomb Steam-Kins. Rude. Because I had 1 mana floating, Tom. Yeah, 1 + 1 is less than 3. You made me do a double take there. I was like, I don't think that was possible. Wonder if they have Merfolk Trickster here. Maybe I'm supposed to play around Spell Pierce here. They do, if they have another Merfolk Trickster, they get to 6 me twice here. Might have been wrong to fire that off aggressively, I don't know. Hopefully we draw a Shock here. Shock would probably lock the game up. I'm gonna hold on to that for now to discard to that next turn. Scary Terry's almost certainly lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's a land, they can fart this. So they probably don't want to attack with everything, right? Yeah. So they have to block this, otherwise they have to let me draw 3. We draw a live one here. We need to draw a deal 3. Yeah, I think we're dead. I guess we're not quite dead, huh? Oh, the fact that they're saving this actually means we're dead. That's unfortunate. Because if this died, I would have been able to risk factor them to 3, play a chump blocker, and then we'd take 7 and go to 1. Close game. They found the line. Says, not a matchup where we want these pile of planeswalkers. Want these lava coils. Trim the tormenting voices. Trim a couple of risk factors. Actually, risk factor is probably marginally better than this guy. When people sent me money, Rawaz. Sometimes when I think about ending, people ask how much to keep me on, and I give them a number, and then they send it, and we keep going. Feather will be the last thing, though. Gotta strike while the iron is hot and the sets are new. I'm gonna play this untapped and pass because I want to be able to shock a turn 1 play here if they play one. How much to add another? I can't give you a realistic answer for how much to add another because that's a question that past Jeff is gonna have to answer, or future Jeff's gonna have to answer for. Present Jeff can't accurately reflect the amount of money future Jeff is gonna need to keep going. Because we just started this deck. So we're gonna be here for a bit yet, with this plus 1 more. Past Jeff frequently writes promises that get future Jeff into trouble. That's awesome. Wow, that's incredibly rude. That is incredibly rude. That one's gotta go.
So much commotion. Such violence is upsetting.
I had to spend 5, but like, yeah, I think this is just a good hate card in this format. Because like, they're playing this card just as like a tool to say players can't draw cards, right? Because it doesn't really find that much in their deck. Coming in hot. It's a solid upgrade from the crappy make your thing in 04 they used to play. Light 'em up. We're on fire. Welcome, Keith. So I think rather than playing into open mana again here, I'm just going to risk factor them at their end step. Opponents like trying to be a mono blue control deck here, which doesn't really seem like a great idea for them.
Every problem has a solution. Let's start by taking... You ever wonder why hurricanes don't have two eyes?
You ever wonder why hurricanes don't have two eyes? Oh, Ral. Wow! Yes, alright, so you're super dead, got it. Oh, I probably should have shocked them at end of turn.
Better watch out. There's a storm.
Doesn't matter, should be dead here. Oh yeah, that's a winning line. Let us draw. I feel like they're supposed to let me draw. They're probably dead either way, but I do feel like they're supposed to let me draw 6 there. Someone clip this frog story. That frog seems some stuff, man. It's gone back and forth and all around. If they board it into a more controlling deck, I almost feel like I'm supposed to respond in kind, right? Like if they brought in Narset, I feel like I'm supposed to cut at least half of these cantrips. Anyone else think that's unreasonable? Sure, I'm gonna do this. The classic cut cantrips board in 4 drops. I don't know, to be fair, like, the 1-mana cantrips that I'm cutting also aren't stellar against their aggressive draws. So it's like, I'm kind of trading out cards that, like, aren't good against their aggro draws for, like, other cards that aren't good against their aggro draws. Augur is such a weird inclusion. Gosh, they're so lucky. Alright, so I'm going to shock them and then light up the stage. And this light up the stage is going to draw us 2 4-drops because I'm very bad at this. Alright, sweet. Those are actually great. Sign me up. Alright, do you have a tricky dick to diddle my electric field? I guess they could just entrancing melody my field next turn too. Hey, Nemesis, thanks for the 3/4 of a year. Hope the end of your college stuff is going well. Well, my plan of drawing spells with this hand does not come through to fruition, so probably dead. Alright, we have a window to draw Lava Coil here. Alright, don't call it a comeback. I mean, to be fair, I kept a 5-lander this game, right? Like, I kept a 5-lander than most of our spells were, or draws were lands. Because I have so many lands in my hand, I'm gonna wait one more turn to play this Chandra, because I don't want Spell Pierce to have be a card that has a text box this game. Ideally, I want Spell Pierce to be dead. Alright, didn't matter. Got it. We just lost 470 spots with that match loss. Holy crap. I think that's a new record. I think almost 500 on a single loss is a new record. What a silly ladder system. Is Boggles a deck you'd be okay with me donating for in Modern? Yeah. I think Boggles is actually already in the deck queue, if you look. How does it even make sense? So, the ranking system makes perfect sense. The problem, not the problem, but the reason why the rankings are so volatile is because there's so many people playing Magic Arena. So, when you have a lot of people playing on the ranking system, it's only natural that there's going to be lots of people at the top with very similar scores, and this means a very small change in scores moves you above or back down past people who have very similar scores to you. Thanks, Gabe. So unfortunately, I can't double spell this turn. I was really hoping to draw... I guess I can do this and attack them. Is that worthwhile? It stops them from flipping this if they block. That's probably fine. And if they don't block, I get to light up the stage. So, like, that's a win for me. Hopefully we hit a shock or a skewer here to kill one of their creatures. Electrostatic Field's actually very good here because it's a card that's gonna basically be a soft removal spell, right? Like it effectively removes the Adanto Vanguard from the table because it's no longer gonna be able to attack through our 0-4. The burn stream was a 22-hour stream. It was very long. Oh, it's unfortunate. I have to play this out or lose it. As we continue to flood in our 19 land deck. Was it intentional 22 hours? Yeah, it was the last time I attempted a 24-hour stream. We made it to 22 before I decided to go to bed. castable spells. Castable spells. All right, it's a pretty good one. It's my longest continuous stream, like 25 hours. That was a couple years ago when I was younger and dumber.
Feel the fury of the tempest.
Yeah, down tick Rail draw 4 is definitely the line. And then Rail does his, hey, look, a distraction here. So he's gonna like draws 4, deal a couple points of damage, or draws 2 extra, deal a couple points of damage. And then maybe if we get like risk factors or something good here, we could be good lord. Oh, magic. It's been a tough run for Memekin so far. Yep, Marshall. He's dead, I get it. 6, we've drawn 10 of our 19 lands, that is correct. 10 of our 19 lands and 19 cards. If they hadn't hit double removal, Steam-Kin might have pulled us through here. The problem is that, like, this has lifelink too. So next turn, this is popping off. Yeah, I gotta figure out. So the problem with leaving the Marshal alive is that it means my opponent is able to get a bonus from the history too, which sucks. Yeah, I think I unfortunately have to kill the Marshal here.
I have just the thing to take you out for good.
If they don't kill Ral here, Ral plus Explosion could kill them next turn, right? Yeah, it's actually exactly lethal, right? Because this is 8 and he does 9, 10. Oh, that gives lifelink.
Can banish evil from this plane. I believe it.
Why would you give the weaker creature lifelink? Why wouldn't you give the 4 power thing lifelink? So they're gaining 4 and going to 13. So I need to draw like a Tormenting Voice here. Risk Factor doesn't do it with Rail gone. That's an okay start, maybe. That into a deal 3 is lethal. That's not true. We're 1 short, right? I think I don't wall this turn. I think this turn is Explosion for 3. Hope to untap and do something. So let's count damage. So if they attack with everything and I don't kill this, I'm taking 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 if I block these 2. So I do just need to kill Marshall here.
I believe in you, friend.
In fact, it's possible that playing this Crash Through is wrong, and I should have just planned to Explosion for 4 this turn. If I hit a good series of draws here, this 3rd field could allow us to win through them gaining 2 here. I think playing the Crash Through last turn was wrong. So they're going to end up at 13 here, because they're taking 2 but gaining 4. Ah, damn, Piano. Thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Is that lethal? That's got to be close to lethal, right? Draw a spell. All right. So this... Yeah, it's lethal with this, right? This is 12. No, the way the math worked out, if I hit the Adanto there, I had to chump block with one of my fields, which wasn't good for me. And then they're dead, right? Lightning Strike is... I need full control. I always forget if I need full control mode or not here. I'm going to... I don't think you actually need full control mode, but, you know, I don't want to lose because of it. There's not going to be a next turn, okay? There's no next turn. Upstairs. All right, sweet. All right, sometime, and that's why, like I said, I've been impressed with Expansion Explosion in this deck because, like, Expansion Explosion gives you something to do with your mana when you're flooded, which is really sweet. How do we feel about Saheeli in this matchup? I feel like she might be really okay. I feel like an endless stream of chump blockers from her could be really sweet. And, like, on a turn we're going to go off, getting an extra field or Runaway Steam-Kin's, like, pretty reasonable. You prefer Tibalt? I guess Tibalt's good, too, huh? They actually both seem great. What if I cut these at my top end? Like, I know Expansion Explosion was good there because we flooded, but, like, I feel like flooding's not going to happen every game. I think we kind of turn into a red control, a control deck, but I guess if we're turning into a control deck, that means this is fine. What if I cut the Rals and I cut the Tormenting Voices and I leave these in? What do you think of? What do you think of this? I think I like this. I can see Lava Coil being good here too. Let's do that. Let's just turn into a control deck. Well, I can't cut all the cantrips because, like, my land count is low because I have cards that draw cards in my deck. Cutting down to 4 might be wrong. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. Perfect. Never didn't have it. And in fact, I think I'm just gonna crash through here to give myself the best chance to hit my 3rd land on 3. Let the greed flow through you, chat. Listen, if any of you doubted what it takes to be a professional Magic player, besides, you know, knowing where your Tron pieces are, drawing your extra land. See, I put special markers on the back here to know my Sulfur Falls were coming up. That's why you gotta buy the premium sleeves, so they come with the markers. All right, here's hoping they play History of Benalia this turn, and then we get to Fiery Cannonade them. Baffling End, that's rude. Is it nuts to just Cannonade? All right, now I'm not gonna cannon. Do I? No, I'm gonna do this. I think I can get more value off this Cannonade. I'm gonna be really sad when they like play an elephant, but I think I can get more value off this Cannonade. Sure. 1 land, please. God, we are so good at this. We are just the very best, like no one ever was. Do 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 do. Pythrion, thank you for the 22 months. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Do 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 do.
I would be honored. The more, the messier.
The more, the messier. That sounds like someone who has toddlers. The more, the messier. Words to live by. Was that triple runner in a 19 land deck? Of course it was triple runner in my 19 land deck. You're not new here, are you? You got a shield next to your name. We've got 1 temperature here in Hoaglandia. They are kind of like... So, like, this is great. So if I was Tibalt, this is Jake and Declan. That's perfect. What if I block like this, and then the tokens kill this? And then next turn we'll Skewer to kill the Snubhorn? These things deal damage to any target, right? Yeah. I am super down for the Planeswalker plan post board here. Feels sweet. Like, Tibalt's not really doing anything at this point. He's just, like, denying them lifelink. That probably doesn't matter. But, like, I wonder, you know, I wonder if I'm supposed to bring in Chandra too in this matchup. If I'm just, like, going full control, do I, like, want Chandra too because she, like, also draws me cards? I could see that being the case. Is it crazy to expansion this light up the stage? What are the odds I can't play all the cards? I think that's crazy. This is probably going to draw me 2 cards later anyways. Look at that. Rewarded. Look at that. We've got Divination in our control deck too. That's so sweet. This build is so awesome. Man, there's probably an incredibly awesome big red deck in this format, huh? Like just mono planeswalkers? Because like with Ugin, you can even like answer problem permanence in a big red deck. That's gotta be something we have to try at some point. If Conclave Tribunal come in, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and shock this, I think. What am I holding Lava Coil for? An elephant? A turn where I want to be mana efficient? I think I want to draw at least 3 cards with this explosion. And Starkin turns all the red walkers into dragons. Gosh, that sounds hot. Man, if we can get Steam-Kin to pop off, with this expansion explosion, that would be so lit.
It is good to see you, my friend. Return to the fight.
Nice spell pierce. This set was awesome. From the game 1 where we like comboed them out the turn before they died while stalling them and while flooding, to like this game where we just like got to play the big red control deck. Oh no! That was gonna draw me 3 cards, opponent. That's so incredibly rude. Alright, I guess we'll just draw 3 instead of drawing 6. Play a threat that dies to 3 damage. Watch me get spell pierced here. I think it's right to wait. There's definitely more threats that die to 3 damage than there are spell pierces in their deck. Ooh, candy.
Prepare to marvel at my masterpiece.
You don't look scared. I adore.
Okay, yeah. Check it. That was hot. Do 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 do. Yeah, that's really my favorite kind of deck, like decks that have aggressive slants, especially game 1, that can pivot into the decision-making decks post-board are some of my favorites in Magic. Con OP, thank you very much for the Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Leading on my crash through here because I don't have a threat in my hand just yet, so I want to try and use that to propel myself into it. I'm gonna go ahead and shock and to light up the stage aggressively for the same reason. Again, just like digging for threats to get into play. Double land feels a little bit bad there, but it's also nice to like clear those lands off the top of my deck, even if I'm not gonna get to play both of them. Marty's playing Mono Red Walkers on stream right now. That's awesome. So we do need to make sure we kill this thing long before it gets to 6/6, right? Scrubs, thanks you for the 11-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Can I get Moment of Cravinged? I think I'm supposed to skewer this turn. Next turn they can enter the God Eternals. Yeah, exactly. You're on my wavelength numbers. I'm gonna hold my land for now because I have Risk Factor in my bin. Yep. Guards, please. Guards, please. Thank you. That is, it's a lot of cards. All right. I guess they're hoping to rip Enter the God Eternals here, huh? Are there any other things that amass 3+ here? If they attack this turn, I'm not blocking, so I don't want to lose this field to, I don't want to lose this field to Moment of Craving at this point. I assume this field is dead. They just saw a bunch of cards, but we're at 20. There's no reason to not take 3 here. Make them have a more expensive spell. Great. I think I'm supposed to Tormenting Voice and dig for a way to kill this. Down to 6. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm -2 Ral and cast Enter the God Eternals. Love it.
Warrior Queen Necromancer is a nice ring. Good help is easy to find in war.
Punish your dumpster. Happy anniversary. How do you feel about Raise Boar and Mono Red Sneak Attack? That actually sounds really sweet. Great. Gotta fade Enter the God Eternals here. They're digging. There's no way they're not playing it, right? There's no way there's not a God Eternals in their deck. That's a bin. Survey says. Enter the God Eternals here would gain them 10. It would kill this and make this big enough to lifelink. Sweet. Sweating bullets over here. Hey, friendos, get my deck. Alright. This out. Skewers out, I think. Is it crazy to just cut my Steam-Kins and blank their Moments of Craving? I feel like that's not crazy. What do we think of doing this? Just like try and cash in some of that sweet, sweet virtual card advantage. Just like have 11 Planeswalkers post board. Anybody have a good reason to not do this? Because, like, they're probably going to have 4 moments post board, right? And, like, while this gets double momented or whatever, like, that's 2 cards. And, like, this thing usually guaranteed gets in some chip shots of damage. No, Skewer hits their face. Well, they make targets, but those targets don't trade 1-for-1 with the moment, right? Like, if they're killing a Tibalt token or they're killing a Saheeli token, they're down a card on that. I don't think they have that many threats. Like, there's a chance they don't even want their enchantment against me. Like, their deck wasn't putting a bunch of threats into play, so I don't think protecting my Planeswalkers is really something that's relevant. Also, like, this card protects herself. She's self-protecting. It's one of the reasons why she's good. Moment against a Tibalt token sounds super depressing, doesn't it? Just like, kill your token, take 1, gain nothing. That sounds delicious. This card is, like, really impressive. Like, young Pyromancer style effects have, like, always been pretty reasonable. And, like, the fact that this one is so hard to interact with is a really big deal. So far, the only thing I don't like about this format is the same thing I didn't like about the previous format, which is Wilderness Reclamation. The games that don't involve that card have been quite fantastic. Kefnet here is actually kind of scary because it threatens to close the game out quickly. Which is relevant. That's bold. So I'm not playing this Warlord's Fury in Exile because if I played this one, it would draw me up to 8 cards and I have to discard. Why did they put this to 3? Because I have Saheeli over here. So I have to manage to kill them in the next, I need to kill them in the next however many turns here. They have me dead in 3.
Together, we'll create great things, you and I.
They're gonna blow this up. And in response, I'm gonna shock them. Get another Saheeli token.
Live to fight another day.
Alright. Skewer you to 5. Deal. My hand's pretty good. If we're going to a Modern Open, which deck would you bring out of all of them? Hardened Scales, Green Black Elves and Bant Eldrazi are the three decks I like in Modern right now. And you can find all of my preferred lists for those 3 archetypes on my website. They can discard our risk factors. That is an aggressive attack.
You've never seen anything like this.
This Planeswalker board plan is so great. Oh, was I supposed to? I messed up. I should have copied my Electrostatic Field. I should have copied my Electrostatic Field. Didn't matter, but I definitely should have done that. The board plan for this deck feels awesome. I really felt like the thing this archetype lacked last season was the ability to, like, pull up and change and diversify its threat post board when people had more interaction. And it definitely feels like we are successfully doing that now. Saheeli is very good. Very, very good. We're going to play 1 or 2 more with the Steam-Kin deck, and then we're going to wrap things up with Red White Feather before we close things out for the evening. It seems like not amazing, but it's fine. I'm actually not convinced that these Tormenting Voices are good. Yeah, we've got a great audience tonight. We had someone gift some subs to push Red White Feather up, so I like to run extra when the audience is here because y'all are great. That's true. Main deck Saheeli could be something that we're interested in doing. I could definitely see that being a thing. Skriel, loving this deck in your stream. Do you think this is the best Ral shell possible? I think so. Like, this deck definitely uses every bit of the Ral buffalo, so to speak. Our hand's actually pretty good even through a Thought Erasure. God bless Jumpstart. Probably losing Light Up the Stage, if I had to venture a guess. But I've got, like, 3 risk factors here, so... No, this deck definitely can't play Opt. What's going on, Hawk? Thanks for the biddy. Read any good books lately? Nope. I haven't sat down and, like, really read a book probably since undergrad. Just too much going on. I would be very surprised if Ral belongs in the Reclamation deck. I would be very surprised if an optimal Reclamation deck wanted to play Ral. Hey, Za, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Is Citadel still the deck of the day? Maybe. I usually pick 2. Citadel's definitely going to be one of the 2. Cast Lightning Bolt. Target your face.
Will be your end. I have other plans. My schemes are never ending.
Oh, you know what? I punted. I just autopiloted there. I was like, well, whatever I do, I'm playing my land and then doing the thing. I should have waited to play my land and then used Light Up the Stage. I should have discarded the land and then cast Light Up the Stage there. That was a mistake on my part.
I will return one
They have a counterspell here. They might still be in this game. Nope. All right. Yep. This is an alt till 8, right?
My schemes have been foiled. My intellect is without limit.
That's pretty good. This was wrong. That was wrong. I should have used Tormenting Voice. That was wrong. I should have used Tormenting Voice. Their hand has no counter spells in it. There's just infinite removal sitting in their hand. That was super wrong. Should have discarded the Steam-Kin to Tormenting Voice to try and hit 2 burn spells for next turn.
Witness a mote of my power.
In fact, maybe I'm supposed to sacrifice a land there so I could Tormenting Voice into Shock. Yeah, I think I messed this game up a couple different ways here at the end. Have to do this because he kills me next turn. My weekend's been Spellful Metal. New set's been sweet so far. We're hoping they just keep drawing a bunch of removal. I've got one more draw 3 in the bank here.
Weakness I cannot exploit.
Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to bin a land there. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to bin a land there rather than take a card out of my hand.
Defiance is infuriating. Let your weak minds crumble.
What's going on, Mashi? Yeah, I think I just hold on to that, right? Because next turn I can play this and then skewer them and they die, right? Yeah. We've not seen a Bull Assault yet on stream.
No amount of science is gonna fix this.
Bloodline. My schemes are never ending.
Yep, yeah, I took off doing weekend streams for a while because the standard hype had died down, but I'll probably be doing at least one weekend stream every weekend for the next 2 or 3 weekends. I like how they've played this game. Like, they just don't have great resources for, like, to line up well against what we're doing, and I feel like the way they've aggressively used these nickel bosses has been very good. Alright, need a burn spell. Hey, oh, let's go. Hey, oh, let's go. Do 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 do. I think that's the longest anybody's ever lived against that many risk factors, huh? It's quite the ride. I think again I'm gonna trim these just to like dodge Moment of Craving and like their cheaper burn spells. I think I like this plan. You would have gotten double lands from late at the stage. See, that's where the professionalism lies. Is this deck good in best of 3 as well? Yeah, all I do is play best of 3 on the stream pretty much. I think this deck's very reasonable here. Our Planeswalker sideboard plan feels super reasonable. Hopefully it continues to do so. It's, to set a bar that's low, it's better than Steam-Kin from last season. I feel like we have a much better plan in the control matchups now, which was something we lacked before. Last season, this deck was only really great against people trying to race you, and now I think we fixed that problem finally. I think we actually had, I need to double check. I don't update midstream, Mikey, but I think a donation came through for Black White Aristocrats midstream, if I recall correctly. I actually think a kind of land heavy hand to start here is good in a matchup like this for us. We want to hit like our first 4 to 5 land drops most games, I think, especially in the control matchup. Dress me, daddy. So long, light up the stage. I'm cycling off these crash throughs aggressively because I'm looking for cards that I can play out proactively as threats. Just want to like churn through to those as quickly as possible. I assume we're gonna lose the front half of this. Yeah. Four, 7, 11, they're at 18. Yikes. I'm gonna ditch the Skewer and just double shock this, I think. Feels bad to do this before I get the Saheeli down, but I really don't want to let them untap. They go like land, or they can actually just flip this and then play. If they play Nicol Bolas here, we're probably dead. Yep. Sounds like the audio's bugging out. What'd you get? Alright, don't put a creature into play. Got it? That's real good. That's arguably one of the best draws in our deck. Risk factor. Alright, these people are great. Buy their stuff. These people also pretty great. Buy their stuff. Back to your regularly scheduled Magic Arena. For people not familiar or new to the stream, my audio drivers is some kind of bug with Magic Arena where every 3 hours the audio goes all warbly distorted like you just heard, so I have to restart the client. I came back and everything was far worse than we left it. On to game 3. You know, they didn't actually have that much removal in their deck there. I think I'm just going to board these back in and try and get them. Am I? I don't know. Nah, I'm a liar. I'm gonna stick to the plan. See how this goes. I said he's been good, Immortal. We've been live for a little over 8 hours. We're gonna wrap this one up and then move on to the last deck of the day. It's been a solid Saturday overall. Slept in a little bit. Alright, because I've got Saheeli in my opening hand here, I'm gonna go ahead and wait on this Warlord Fury, because I'd like to play it post Saheeli to make a token with, ideally. Opponent mulligan, scry top. Alright, so much for that plan. Probably going to cycle the Warlord Fury next turn now that we've lost Saheeli. That's appealing. There's a configuration that's competitive for blue-green merfolk. I don't know. I don't know if they really got any upgrades this season, and they didn't. I wasn't really a fan of anything merfolk related last season. Duress plus Thought Erasure is so incredibly obnoxious. Make sure you never play Modern, because Modern's got Thoughtseize, and it's far worse than anything you could ever imagine. Alright, Jake and Declan are here, and they're coming to mess you up, buddy. My little devils. Daddy's little devils. And if they block this devil, I actually get to shock to finish off their thing. And they know the shock is there.
Together, we'll create great
Go.
things, you and I.
Him to Torak. Yeah. People are like, Thought Erasure and Duress suck, and all the experienced bench players are like, let me tell you about the myriad of miserable things you can experience in this game still. An opponent knows about this shock, right? There's a little eye on there for a reason. Uh-oh. God bless you, Tibalt.
You have no weakness I cannot exploit.
Let me open your eyes to huge design failures over the last 24 years. Like, yeah, we've been doing this for a while. There's a lot of screw-ups, let me tell you. It's bedtime. That's true. It is 10 after 8. That is basically my bedtime. Now, losing the Tibalt does mean Moment of Craving is now live against me, which is a real thing. The most important note from the join Discord instructions there, Bofu, is that you need to do it from a desktop computer. So you'll be able to access the server once you've joined it from mobile, but in order to initially join the subserver, you'll need to be on a desktop. So I'm going to shock this and not only finish Nicol Bolas off, but generate a token as well. Now, this exchange could be because they have another Nicol Bolas.
Consequence.
Hey, Treble, thank you for the 3 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right, now they have to let me draw 3, right? So otherwise they're dead on board. Yikes. The good news is these two are lethal. How much damage did that Tibalt do? More than enough. A lot. Tibalt's been very, very good. Very, very good. Bolt you. Well, that was truly excellent. The main deck of this isn't too far off of what we played last season now with the Blue Splash with Rail and Expansion, and I do feel like this edition has helped us improve our linear game plan. The only 2 slots in the main deck I'm not 100% sure on is I'm not sure if I like these Tormenting Voices in this deck or not still. One concern is if I don't want the Tormenting Voices in my deck, I might want a 20th land, just because Tormenting Voice, because it draws more cards, is a card that helps us cheat on our land count by playing fewer lands, which is nice. That being said, I need to run the hypergeometric numbers and see 19 lands with 8 1-mana draw ones might still just be fine. The real thing I'm confident in that we figured out tonight for sure is that this 6, 7, 8 Planeswalker sideboard plan feels really good in a variety of places. It feels good against control decks in diversifying our threats to beat them through their interaction, and it felt really good against the white aggressive deck where we boarded in Lava Coil and Fiery Cannonade and then Tibalt and Saheeli, and we basically turned into this red-blue control deck, or this mono-red control deck, and that felt pretty reasonable for us as well. If you're looking for a deck that's like kind of aggressive, has a random combo kill in it, like has a sweet board plan, this is definitely my recommendation right now. Been having a lot of fun with this one. If this is your first time watching this one, we played this one yesterday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday we played this one to start. There's a video of that on my website, my YouTube channel. You can find that there later whenever you want if you want to see more action with it. We're not done tonight being live yet, though. We're going to close things up tonight with a red-white feather combat trick deck, so don't go anywhere.